Okay, so I was on the internet and I came across a rather misleading post that said that you can copy on the TB-303 from bank to bank. Well, they had some instructions and I tried them and it didn't make any sense and it didn't work. And then I came across some other posts on the same subject saying, oh, well, it's not possible. And some were saying you can only copy from the first four to the last, or between the first four and between 5 and 8. Well, actually, I've figured it out, and you can copy from any position from 1 to 8, and you can copy from the A bank to the B bank. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you how to do it first, and then I'm going to tell you how I think, or why I think it works. So, okay, so the first thing we do, we have to remember that the destination pattern that you're going to be copying to has to be cleared first. So I'm going to be using pattern 1 and 2 for the first demonstration, and I'm just going to clear them. So first you make sure you're in write mode. You select the pattern you want, you press clear, and the light comes on, and it's cleared. I'm going to do the same for the second pattern as well. Okay, so now I'll press play. You can see we've got no sound. So I'm going to enter in 16 random notes on the first pattern, add some time signature, and then add the accent slides and transposes, as you would normally when you're programming. This is completely normal. So first I go into pitch mode, and I put in my 16 random notes. And I press function again. So there's 16 notes are entered. For this one, I'm gonna make this simple. I'm just gonna use 16 sixteenths. So I'll go into time mode, and it's entered. So if I play the pattern, okay. So now I'm just going to enter for this one. I go back to pitch mode, and I'm going to enter some random slides and transposes and accents. That should be enough. Okay, pretty straightforward, normal stuff. And the second pattern, of course, has nothing in it. Now, the thing to remember is when you're doing this copy, the very first step of the pattern that you're copying will be corrupted. That includes, well, not always, but most of the time it includes the accent slide and the transpose information if there is any on that first step. So the first note will be lost and the information here will be lost, but that's only one step, and it doesn't copy the time mode information. So, but for this demonstration, obviously I'm using 16 steps, so it's going to be very simple to copy over this timing. So the first thing you do is you be on your patch you want to copy, and you go into pitch mode. You press the tap button, and you'll find out what the first note is. In this case, it's a C, and there's no slide or transpose information. Okay, so then you press function again. You go to the pattern you want to copy to. This is the next thing, very next thing you do. Don't do anything else, and then you just go straight to time mode. And in this case, I'll put in 16 sixteenths. And we're done. Well, I have to fix that first note, so I'll go back to pitch mode, and I'll put in the C because that's what the first note was. Press function, and press play. That's pattern 2. This is pattern 1. As you see, I've just copied pattern 1 to pattern 2. I can do it to pattern 3 as well. First, I'll make sure pattern 3 is cleared. I'll clear it. I'll go back to pattern 1. I'll go into pitch mode. One step. Note that that's a C. Function again. Go to the pattern you want to write to. Go to time mode. Put in your time information. In this case, 16 steps. Go back to pitch mode. Fix the first note. Press function. And now the pattern will be copied to number 3. Pattern number 1. Pattern number 2. Pattern number 3. Now I know some of you know that when you clear a pattern, whatever note information was there first will still be there. It's just the time information that's cleared. So for all you naysayers, I'm going to do it again from pattern 1, but this time I'm going to write a new pattern into pattern 1 without any fancy camera edits. So first I'll clear number 1, I'll clear number 2, and I'll clear number 3. I'll go to number 1 again, and I'll just write some pattern information as you do normally with the TB-303, but I'll do it another 16 random notes. So I'll go to pitch mode. 16/16. Then I'll go back to pitch mode and put in some random note slides and transposes. Okay, that should do it. So now you hear that pattern. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go to pitch mode. I'll press the tap button and I'll find out what the first note is. That's an A sharp, and this time it's got an accent. So I need to remember that. I'll press function. I'll go to the pattern I want to go to. I'll go to time mode, 16/16. And I'll go back to pitch mode. That was the first note was an A sharp. And I want an A sharp with an accent. Now when I play this pattern, you'll see it's the same as the first one. And I'll show you one more time. I'll copy that to pattern number 3. So I'll go back to pitch mode. A sharp with an accent. Press function. Go to pattern number 3. Time mode. 16/16. Pitch mode. A sharp with an accent. I think you have to do that. It's possibly, yeah, here we go. And I'll put the accent in as well. Press function. Now number 3. So that's pattern number 1. Pattern number 2. Pattern number 3. Now I'll show you one more time. I'm going to go back to pattern number 1, enter pitch mode. A sharp, press tap once, I see A sharp accent. But this time I'll press function, and I'm going to go to bank number B. This is the second bank, number 1. I'll go to time mode, 16/16. And then I'll go to pitch mode, A sharp, and add the accent. And it should be copied over to the second bank. As you can see, it is. So I'll go back to bank A. That's number 1. Number 2. Number 3. And I'll go back to bank B. Number 1. So as you can see, it works. So the thing you need to remember when you're doing this is that the pattern you're going to copy to needs to be cleared first. And the first note of the pattern will be corrupted, including any information that you've entered on here. Now, you remember also when you copy a pattern, the time mode isn't copied with it. But this is kind of good because let's say we go back to bank A and we've got 1, 2, 3. If I just change the time mode randomly on bank number 2 and the same for bank number 3, you'll hear that you actually get variations in the pattern with the same notes, which is very cool for writing various patterns. But they're all using the same notes. I mean, you can make some variations in your patterns now, so there's no need to have that single pattern going over and over again for 25 minutes or whatever it is you like to do. And basically that's it. It works, as you can see. Now, the reason I think it works is, and the reason it's not documented, because it's actually not a feature. It's not. This is not supposed to happen. It's just a. Let's say we can say the best, for want of a better word, you could say it's a bug in the operating system. But what I think the reason it's happening is when you enter pitch mode the first time, whatever pitch mode you're entering is entered into a temporary buffer. And so as long as you don't enter pitch mode again on a pattern that has information or you step through it, it doesn't overwrite that data. So what we're doing is we're going to the second pattern. We haven't corrupted the pitch buffer, shall we say, and you're just entering time mode, so the same notes are being copied over.